What's up, Canes fans? It's the Six Rings pregame show here with Danny Gillette and Larry Bluesy. What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
Good,
Good, good.
good, good,
Good.
good.
Hey, 12
We're,
o'clock kickoff starting soon. I know that we're crunched for time, but let's get it going. I know we're probably waiting for a couple of other guys to jump in, so we apologize to the Kings fans there. However, Blue, I want to start off with you on this big game. Obviously, we've got some news that Brevin Jordan is out. Kenny Pickett is also out for Pitt. But I think primarily what a lot of us were talking about yesterday on the show was the front four, right? The defensive line with Patrick Jones going up against John Campbell or Zion Nelson, whoever he's going to go against, and then vice versa, right? Actually, was hearing on the broadcast a little earlier that guys like John Ford and Jordan Miller really haven't done much this season yet. So I know that they're going to need to step up, put some pressure on whoever it is that the Pitt's going to throw out there, whether it's Yellen or Bevel, I believe his name is. So I know Yellen played a lot, played significant time at Arizona State last year against USC. So he's got some experience. You're probably going to see him go out there. But talk to me about what you see about, from Pitt and what's it going to take for Miami to come out and go crazy and beat Pitt.
it's a line of scrimmage game, obviously, and Miami last year in winning the game maybe made one more play. They just couldn't run the ball last year, and that's a concern. I want to see them open it up with a run this year. I want to see them establish the run. I believe because if you let Pittsburgh come at you as we saw last year, they're going to do it. They get tremendously well coached on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of good athletes. They fly all over the place. And Miami, no matter what it is still a marquee game for all these opposing teams. And they come in here sky high, especially with tons of kids from South Florida. So I think that when you take a look at it, it's got to be won on the line of scrimmage. And if you don't win the line of scrimmage battle, you're not going to win the game. And I don't care who you are, but I want to see them run the ball because that's something that they failed to do last year, and especially in this game. And I still remember talking with Alex Dono after the game, and I said, um, all Harris did the whole game was work hard to get back to the line of scrimmage. So you can't do that to this year. You got to get those plus games. You got to get that running game going. And I'm a firm believer in you got to get that running game going first. And like you said, without Brevin Jordan, it's going to be tough because he's actually the only reliable receiver. So who's going to step up? And that's defensively, I'm not worried. I think Miami can control the tempo. They got big time playmakers. They got a quarterback who's not used to this spotlight. So, but offensively, I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, can Miami? I know that in Clemson it was a team that obviously you're not gonna play anybody of that equal. That's just a massively good team. But on the other hand, you've got to make plays. There was a lot of drops last week. A lot of kids that couldn't get off their patterns, and yeah, that concerns me. That's why I know it's going to be a close game throughout because Miami just hasn't. They have to show the ability to move the ball consistently against a good defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Danny, we were talking about this last night. The wide receivers need to step up. Now that we know that Brevin Jordan is officially out, time for Will Mallory to kind of put it together, put a solid game together all around. He typically does play a lot better when Brevin Jordan is out. We've believe it or not, we've actually seen it, right? We've seen it quite a bit with Brevin Jordan last year being hurt. So I can expect to see a big game from him. I'm going to need a big game from him, but also the wide receivers. And of course, listen, Cam Harris needs to get it rolling. This is a tough defense to get it rolling against, but had a bad game last week. With the nation's best defense, the nation's best team all around. So it's kind of tough, but he needs to bounce back as well, right?
Yeah, and I think it's going to come down to can Miami get the ball out quick in the passing game? I talked a little bit about this last night. The Pitt defensive line isn't the best defensive line in the world, but they're going to come after you and they're going to make plays and they're going to make King uncomfortable. So I think it's going to be huge for Miami to get the offense going in the sense that they can, get the ball out quick and then also we've said it all week. The outside wide receivers, just like Blue was saying, with Brevin Jordan out, that's going to put even more pressure on the outside wide receivers. And if they can't get it going, it's going to be a long afternoon. It's week 5, and I really need to see something from that group.
Paul, thanks for joining us, man. I know it's been kind of crazy. You're there at the stadium as well, so we were talking. We were just talking with Blue and Danny about, again, just kind of reiterating what we need to see out of the Miami Hurricanes offense, as far as getting the running game going again, the wide receivers again. Obviously, with Brevin Jordan out now, Will Mallory, and hey, look, listen, maybe some of the other tight ends like Larry Hodges, who's shown that he can play a little bit, and even the freshman kid Dominic Mammarelli might get some noticeable play time today as well. So what do you see out of the tight end position and maybe the wide receivers that kind of need to step up now with Jordan out?
It's going to be a huge task. I think that with Brevin out, you kind of take away that main go-to guy that's kind of been their safety blanket all season. And now it's time for the guys to step up. I feel like they're probably going to involve Cam Harris not only in the running game but the passing game. I feel they should look to him on wide, and also with Will Mallory. I think this is a great opportunity for a breakout game. I could definitely see a multi-catch game on him if they let him more often. And obviously, you mentioned the receivers, D. Wiggins, Mark Poe, Mike Harley. Now these guys have to step it up. Because this is still a team that's not being taken lightly. This defensive line will wreak havoc, and it's even more vital now. You gotta help King out. This isn't a team that just something walk over. Pittsburgh is still gonna make Miami earn their points on offense, regardless. So it's definitely important for those guys to step up and have a great game and hopefully break out.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And on the defensive side of the ball, Larry, like we said, Jordan Miller, John Ford, we know the outside guys, Roche and Phillips, are going to do their thing. And even the guys behind them like Cam Williams and Jafari Harvey, those guys are going to play well. I think it's the inside guys, the backups behind a guy like Silvera, who's had a really good season so far, that are going to need to start to play a lot better, get some pressure up the middle, and if we can control that line of scrimmage and put pressure on whoever it is that's going to play quarterback for Pitt, this is going to be a long game for them, and I think that's going to be the case. Again, Pitt is always a tough game to kind of, see which way it's going to go. It's always been a tough game. They always play us hard. So, and like you said, last year, 16-12, that was the game. So I think it's going to be a lot of the same. But I really think that Miami's going to be able to score some points. We've got the quarterback now that's a steady quarterback. I think De'Aaron King's going to have a huge game, but I think the defense is going to have to make some plays, Larry. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself first, though. Yeah. Oh, if we can unmute him there. We just get a lot of reverb. Yeah, we still get a lot of reverb there. Oh, I think you had it. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. I think, first of all, to answer that question, by being a line of scrimmage type of game, Miami's going to have to understand that Pitt's going to want De'Aaron King to throw the ball. So they're gonna stack the box. They're gonna stop the run. They know that that's what gets Miami going. So they want De'Aaron King to throw the ball. And if you've watched a lot of the film, his receivers, as we said, are not reliable. So to me, if I'm Pitt, that's what I do from a Miami standpoint. You just peel your ears back. You play your defense the way you know how to play. I don't care who's at quarterback. I mean, you should still be able to control this team. You have more speed than them your defense has more speed than them. Their offense does. They have a couple of big playmakers, but if you take them away, I just think it's going to, like I said earlier in the week, and I felt this even before the season, that this was going to be a defensive game. This was going to be a low-scoring game, because I don't think that either offense is capable of putting up a lot of points against the respective defenses. I think that's the strength of this game, the defenses. Miami's offense, the thing that bothers me is that offensive line, especially against a very active. Now, Danny said before, they may not be the best defense, and the same thing, they may not be the best defensive line around, but they're very active, and their front seven are very active, and they're going to throw a lot of looks at him. I think they're going to try to stop the run, and that's the one thing that I thought would be the key, that Miami needs to run the ball. So I think that's their first order of business. They're gonna make life tough on De'Aaron King, and that's the game plan. Because right now, who else is really making things happen for Miami's offense? Their receivers are not reliable. their one guy who catches basically everything. Brevin Jordan is out. I understand getting Will Mallory involved, but they have plenty of time to get Will Mallory involved, and they never really do. So their offense, their receivers have got to make plays. Mark Pope or change them out. Or change them out, because what are you going to hurt feelings? I mean, they're not doing anything, and I mean, I think you got young guys like Redding who deserves an opportunity, and even Restrepo. I know he got kind of like his butt became the size of a pea last week, but that was first action, But I think that he has the ability to help. I think playmakers are going to play in this game, and I think that's what Manny Diaz has to do. If you're going to make plays, you're going to stay in this game. If not, someone else will step up.
Well, I think what's going to happen is if these wide receivers do not start making plays early and often in this game, you're going to see a lot of Michael Redding. You're going to see a lot of Keyshawn Smith. You're going to see a lot of those guys, the younger guys, get play. And I'm okay with that because you know what?
Why
Something's
not?
got to
Why
give.
not?
It can't be worse than what the play. Yeah, why not? It can't be worse than what it is now. Give the young guys a shot to go out there and to ball out. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely going to see that. At kick returner, and punt returner, do we still see Xavier Restrepo back there today? I think so, right? I think he's. Hey, look, listen. Rhett Lashley spoke about it. He said, he was aggressive. He didn't make it. Yeah, that one play on that one punt that he kind of screwed up a little bit. But those are mistakes that are going to happen. He was trying to be aggressive, and as a matter of fact, Patkey and Lashley actually didn't condemn him for him. Rather, they commended him for trying to be aggressive and make a play. And at that point against a team like Clemson, maybe that's something that sparks the team and the offense to kind of maybe score some points. So, I'm not too mad at him for that. I still want to see a complete game again. I think that, we mentioned that yesterday, the offense is going to come out and they're going to have to try to go deep and get the ball to the wide receivers often and quickly. Right? I think you're going to see that. Jock mentioned that he said, I want to see a play action pass on the first play of the series, make them go deep to a guy like Pope or Wiggins. So listen, that's what's going to have to happen for the Pitt defense to not crowd the line and put 8 in the box every single play the whole game.
They will, though. They will until you make them back up.
Exactly, and it's going to take that. So I mean, listen, I want to see a good game. I want to see Miami bounce back from a tough loss last week. Missing Brevin Jordan is never good. It kind of sucks, but listen, this is a Miami Hurricane football team that's supposed to have playmakers regardless, right? And you should be able to, if you're here playing for the Miami Hurricanes, you need to come up and you need to step up and say, well, I'm the next man up, and that's it, and forget about what you don't have and focus on what you do and go out there and score some points. Danny, so before we leave, we got about another 10 minutes or so before we get on out of here because game time is what, fellas? How many minutes before game time? You guys see there on the scoreboard?
They took off the game timer, but it should be very, very soon.
Hey, AJ. How you been?
Yeah, Blue over there. This is what I like, man. This is live. Everybody is back there. Is there a lot of people? So let's do this. Let's go with predictions, right? Let's go on with what's going on. Danny Gillette, talk to me about your prediction of the game. Give me a score.
My prediction for this game is it's going to be low scoring. I'm thinking 24-17 Miami. I think the line for Pittsburgh is going to give.
I think the guys over at the stadium need to mute themselves. There we go. All right, go ahead, Danny.
24-17 Miami. I think the line of Pittsburgh is going to give King trouble. I don't know if they're going to put up, great stats, but they're going to get in his face. I think it's going to be a battle of the defenses, and I think, with Jordan out, and if the Miami receivers continue the trend that they have in the past couple of weeks, I think it could be a closer game than many people think. I do think Miami's going to get the win, like I said, 24-17, but I do think it's going to be a grinded out type of battle.
Paul, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with 28-17. I do think that even without it starting to be, Pitt's defense is definitely going to be in King's face. And I'm not sure if I have full trust in the guys I mentioned stepping up. I don't mind being wrong. I mean, honestly, if I'm wrong, I'll take it. But I really hope I am surprised and thrown off. But yeah, I'm gonna go conservative. Um, I think Miami. Um, I don't think they cover, but I still think they pull it out 28-17.
Hey, Blue, before we get to your pick, Blue, I actually wanted to talk to you about something recruiting wise, right? You go out to a lot of these games, these high school football games, and see a lot of the guys that are committed to Miami or Miami is looking at, whether it's 2021 or 2022. Does a game like this play a big factor in recruiting, in the sense that, a lot of kids want to see Miami bounce back? They understand it was a Clemson game, but a lot of the kids are still rooting for Miami hard and thinking, all right, hey, it was Clemson. Let me be that kid that comes in and steps in next year and makes a difference, or the year after. Do you see a lot of that still going on with a lot of the kids that you hear about?
Larry, you muted.
We got to unmute Larry.
Larry, you muted. You're muted.
Okay.
National
There you
anthem,
go.
actually.
We got the national anthem going, Danny. So we're gonna have to hold on a second until the anthem is over, and then we'll keep going. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna try to turn on this game here. I don't know where the hell the damn thing is. Hold on. All right. All right.
And we're back. And you're back.
We're back. All right. So real quick, Larry, what were you saying about the recruiting process for some of these kids?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's not going to really matter. I think these kids are, kind of like honed in on what's going to be the future of Miami. So I wouldn't worry about that. But you don't want to get in the habit of losing, because that's something that they did last year, and they were very fortunate to get what they got. So this is a huge game, because they need to show that they can bounce back. Because they're going to have a lot of games the rest of the way that are going to be pretty challenging, and then the entire schedule's challenging. There's no gimmies. There's not any more in this league. There's no gimmies. So, but with that being said, I think Miami's doing well. They just got to add to that, get some 22 kids, marquee kids, and they'll be fine. But as far as my prediction, I had said it earlier, I think it's going to be a defensive line. It's going to be a line of scrimmage game. I think Miami will pull it out, win it 24-20.
Nice. I'm gonna go large. I think Miami has a big game on offense. I think King comes out firing on all cylinders. The wide receivers finally put something together, whether it's the young guys or the older guys. I don't care who it is. I think someone is going to make a big play at the wide receiver position. I'm going to go 38-20 Miami. I think they're going to maybe keep it close the first 2 or 3 quarters, and then just kind of pull away at the end with some big plays defensively, and then obviously the offense just takes advantage. So we'll keep you guys locked. We have a post-game show coming up after as well, fellas, and then we'll talk about what's going on. Maybe we'll have some in-game stats as well. So we'll try to work on that, because I know the fans liked it last time. So thank you guys for watching. Canes and Pitt going on right now. Talk to you guys soon. Go Canes.
Okay.